All right, we're going to move on to solving quadratics through factoring. Remember, when we're solving a quadratic, what are we looking for? We're looking for the roots. Those are also called the zeros. Those are also called the solutions. And what they happen to be the x-intercepts. Remember, at most, a quadratic equation, quadratic function, equation will have two roots. So most of the time, we're trying to figure out what those two roots are, those two x-intercepts. An important property for you guys to be aware of as we're working through factoring to find the solutions to quadratics is the square root property of equality. Square root property of equality simply states that you can take the square root of both sides of the equation to solve them. So the square root property of equality says that that's a perfectly legal move. The square root of x squared is x, and then the square root of 64, we have to think about that. The square root of 64 is 8, for sure, but the square root of 64 is also negative 8. You need to think about both the positive and the negative roots. When you think about both the positive and negative roots, that's going to get you back up to the fact that most time quadratic equations have two roots. So for this very basic problem, our final answer would be that x is equal to, open up your curly braces to indicate there are a set of values, and we can just consolidate the positive and negative like this. X equals plus or minus 8. All right, so let's take this one step further. What if we have a quadratic that's already in factored form? This would be the example of a perfect square trinomial that's been factored into the square of a binomial. And what if on the other side of our equation, well, maybe we shouldn't use 64 again. That's getting a little bit too repetitive. Let's pick a different perfect square. We'll just pick 49 for now. So the square root property of equality in this example, so this is example number 2, says we can take the square root of both sides. Okay, so I'll take the square root of this side, and I'll take the square root of this side. Taking the square root of something that's squared simply releases the radicand. So the radicand is this binomial x minus 3. And what we have to remember is that we have both the positive and the negative square root of 49. To figure out what x equals, we're going to have to add 3 to both sides. And while we're doing that, we need to remember that we have a positive 7 plus 3, and we have a negative 7 plus 3. So in our final answer, we'd have to say that x can equal, we're going to go ahead and open up our curly braces, we'll put these two final answers in numerical order, x can either equal negative 4 or 10.